Hey, folks. John Russell here. I'm stuck at home today. It's 1 o'clock on Thursday. And Pege Miller is also having a little bit of a technical issue today. We'll see what happens with her. Hopefully, she'll be able to pop in here with us shortly. But for the time being, what we got behind me today is very, very cool. It is the penguin pond at the Kansas City Zoo. So that is pretty cool. My goodness. So what's going on with you guys? I'm just here. Let me pop up, and away. Here we go. There's Large Marge. Hello, Marge. Good to see you. Thanks for looking in. Penguins at the Kansas City Zoo, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully, Peggy will be able to pop in. She's trying very hard. There's Denny Ryan. Good afternoon, Denny. Glad to see you. Hope things are going well down there in the Little D. Did you get to watch Willie Farrell yesterday, Denny? Fascinating story with Willie, and he's a great guy too. Went to our high school. There's my favorite penguin right there. I call him Floaty. But yeah, so got a lot of things coming up here in the state of Minnesota, which is where I live. So I can tell you a little bit about that. So I have not talked with the owner of Goonies, Mark Clampy, yet. I am guessing that from the indications, we will not be opening the comedy club the first week of June, in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, I was scheduled to headline that with Luke Borkart from Chicago, and Mark Knudsen was going to be the MC. I don't know if I don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't think we're going to do the show. Because, to be honest, it's a double-edged sword. You know, it's one of those situations where because it's inside the Crooked Pint, the Crooked Pint has to be able to open also, I think. So it's a unique situation, which means that the comedy club will probably not be open on June 6th. And as far as the rest of June, I don't know. So that's unfortunate. That means there's, aside from myself and the two guys that are working with me, there's going to be some other folks that aren't going to get to work that weekend that they were scheduled. Happened in May too. We had I think we were off this weekend on the actual schedule, but all the folks that were there in May did not get to work. So, oh yeah, very cool. Very cool. He's an interesting guy, Willie Farrell. And the fact that he caught that coronavirus. Supposed to headline there at the end of June. Hold on, man. I don't know. It seems like here in Minnesota, Chris, it's every 2 weeks that they make a little bit of an update. As of right now, it looks like gatherings of 10 or less. So I may just look into doing something here. I mean, it'd be, as you well know, Chris, as a headliner that tours the country, it's kind of nice to get paid for doing stuff. And so that's kind of, I was looking forward to a little money, but anyway, I got to say this, one of my friends out of the blue, and I don't know if this has happened to you, so now I feel like I have to pay it forward. One of my friends out of the blue, and I hesitate to, because I don't want to make him, like nervous or whatever. Out of the blue, sent me a $25 gift card to one of my favorite restaurants that's still open and doing curbside service. So I kind of feel like I got to pay it forward now, don't I? That's what we should do, right? So I just have to pick out the right person. I can't just throw a $25 gift card out in the street. Although I was doing it with Mom's pick the thing. By the way, Chris, if you're still looking in, are you going to want to come on with me tomorrow? Because I would love to have a schlick shopping segment tomorrow. Let's see, what else can I tell you? This is fun and interesting. With my radio pals, Tracy McRae, Megan Kennedy, and Jeff Cecil, we are going to next Thursday night, and I think it's going to be at 7:00. Oh, good. You got items. I got a way to promote those items, and let's discuss them. We're going to do the match game. We're going to play the match game online, and I've got it all figured out, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So that'll be next week on Thursday night. We're going to do it tonight, but one of them went to the cabin because they're fancy. But anyway, that's kind of where we're sitting with that. I'm just looking here. I think Peggy's still having some problems. Oh, here we go. She's still trying, and so I will keep holding on. Oh, here we go. Hold on. Stand by. Got another message. No worries. I'm typing right now to Peggy, just by the way, so you know. I mean, it's not like I'm just got the camera on and typing. That would be ridiculous. Sort of. All right. Bill. So just so you know, I mean, this is literally can't type and talk at the same time. So I just said to her, no worries, I'm on. I'll pop you right in if you can get it to work. So there. Yeah, I know. It's all very weird. If I was able to headline, would I be comfortable? I don't know. See, that's the thing. I got to be honest with you, man. It's like, because if I'm honest, I'm in the target, and I mean, I know there's we talked about this before. There's a club in Salt Lake City that opened up the first week of May. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what you got to do. At least you're in a different spot though, Chris, because you're not beholden to another entity. Like Goonies is beholden to whatever happens. If the Crooked Pint doesn't open up, Goonies really can't open up. Yeah, it was Denny. My radio pals are great. I love them. Yeah, Wise Guys out in Salt Lake City. And they're running shows. I don't know how I don't know to what extent they're running them. Obviously they're not a full room, but I mean, that's all got to be taken into consideration. I was going to say this, Mark and I have talked about the fact that what we'd like to try to do, if we can get it figured out, and obviously if we can't do the show at the club, it's a whole nother ball of wax. But what we were going to try to do is, because I think they were talking about a 25% occupancy rate, but that's all sort of gone out the window. What we're going to try to do was we were going to try to live stream the show so people could still watch the show with a limited audience there to participate. I honestly, I kind of think that's a good plan. And I've got a camera that'll do exactly that will live stream directly from the camera to the internet. Yeah, it sounds like I'm really rich. It sounds like I've been making money out my ears, but I'm really not. I'm huge in debt. All of this stuff, it seems like I'm doing everything. Yeah. Exactly, Chris. That's the thing. I mean, it's hard to go out there. Funny Stop in Cuyahoga Falls open. Oh, very nice. Good to hear that. That's a good spot too. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, Chris. No, I totally understand. Uh, they're doing drive-in shows in Anchorage, and Mike Fink, who's been on with me, or at least been part of this, he's been talking about doing a drive-up show. He's got a great spot up in Maple Grove that would lend itself perfectly. And then I think a drive-in show would be fun, but there are some considerations that have to be. You can't put that out on the Facebook. That's like saying it in public, Chris. Maybe you could just say I. Anyway, point being, I know I had one of those. My God love her. She's old, older than my mom. If I took a walk in the street and got hit by a say a school bus, my mother-in-law would say, "Oh no, you didn't. You were hit by a pickup truck." I mean, and always that necessity to be absolutely 100% right all the time. But it happens, it happens. But yeah, the drive-in shows, you have to think about, there's some considerations, right? Because obviously they want to have some drinks, maybe some food. There are different ways to do it. Some are able to have a server come and bring it out to the car. But the other part is, then, don't you have to provide a restroom for people? And how do you police that? And how does that all work? So there's a lot of considerations to that. Oh yeah, Alex. Mike Fink knows him. And Mike booked some comics up there too, and I think probably along in that line. But yeah, the whole idea is that and Mike has it all ready to go. We just have to figure out how to do it. Yeah, Chill Coop, that's right. Coots, that's right. But you have the cars all out there. You have somewhat of a speaker system, but you also have an FM short range broadcast system, and it works pretty good. And he was saying that they applaud by honking the horn. If they love the joke, they honk the horn, which, I mean, seems perfect to me. Absolutely perfect. Just looking. We are looking. Hopefully Peggy will hop in here with us quickly. She's still working on it. Just to let you know what's coming up next week. I am not doing a show on Monday. I might, if I have enough time to do a best of. I really want to do, because I've got enough of these shows now in the bag. Yeah, absolutely. Honk if you're funny. I don't think that's right. But I got enough of these in the bag. I want to for sure, because so many of the stories are so great, I for sure want to do a best of hell gigs. Yeah, well, good. Yeah, go for it, Marge. I mean, I just, yeah. I don't want to make anything political about this. I just want us all to be safe, period. If we can do stuff, we can do it. And if we can't, we can't. That's kind of the way it works. Yeah, so I won't do a show on Monday. If I can come up with a best to hell gigs, though, I'm going to do that. And it'll take me a little bit of time, but I think I get it done by Monday. And best to hell gigs sounds like, to me, that could be just in and of itself a whole show. Best of hell gigs, or just hell gigs. But then on Tuesday, I'm going to have Mark Poulos Oh, here we go. Hold on. Peggy is calling me. Let's see what we can do here. And oops, hardware access, because I'm already using my camera. She tried to call me, and that did not work. So we'll try to. We'll keep trying, Peggy. We'll figure it out here. I can't answer you on Messenger because I'm already using my phone and my microphone for this. Oops. Already using mic and cam for broadcast. I would bring you in. Hold on, Peggy. Let's see. Let me see. Now, you know what? I might be able to do this. I might be able to wing it. Let's try it. Here, let me see if I can call it. I don't know if I can call her back. Nope, I can't do it because I got to turn all this stuff off. So that didn't work. That's what you call on the fly. Anyway, Tuesday, I will have Mars Timms from Chicago. A lot of Minneapolis folks know Mars. He's hilarious. He does a voice in a video game. That's kind of cool. I think it's one of the Street Fighters, maybe. We'll find out more. But he does a show down in Chicago called Pimprov, and very, very hilarious. And a good guy. I've got to work with him a couple of times. So yeah, hold on a minute. Let me try this. Hold on. Stand by. All right. Hold on here, Peggy. Now let me see. I am going to look at my phone because this is all crazy. This is all crazy. Oh my goodness. Hold on here.
Sure.
Oh, we're getting there. All right.
Yay!
Now I can see you, but this isn't on screen. So here's my problem. I got to try to figure out how to get you on the screen. Everybody can hear you, but they can't see you because this is not through Messenger, and I'm already using my camera and mic.
I was just working with my tech on my, using my phone, my iPad, and I just stumbled onto this, and I don't know.
Yeah. So ideally, you should just be able to click that link, and it should go to the website.
Yeah, and then it kept saying that it didn't have access to my mic and my camera. And when I Safari, it doesn't give me that option, for the camera. Anyway, it's been driving me crazy for 20 minutes.
I understand.
I've got a friend of mine who is an engineer, electrical engineer, and she's pretty computer savvy, and I've got her flummox. So, what would you like to do, John?
Well, I'd like to have you on the screen with me.
Yeah. Well, I'm just thrilled that I've got you right now, and I don't want to mess anything up. But
here's there's got to be a way that you can grant access to the camera.
And that's what you're looking at, and we tried that. I tried updating my iPad. I've been trying to use my phone also.
Yeah.
And I just don't have that, the camera slide and the video slide button. I don't have that. I don't know where it went. I try not to take it personal.
I wouldn't take it personal. Let's be. You do have a camera on the iPad. All cameras have iPad have a camera, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. The other part would be. Did it say that you could do audio? Because we could do it audio. I just wouldn't see you.
I thought I allowed audio, camera, and apparently it didn't work. So.
Well, shoot.
I know. I hate to leave and continue playing with this. I rebooted my phone, so I can't talk to my tech.
Yeah. Well,
I wish I had practiced this a little bit earlier.
Well, that's how it works sometimes.
Yeah.
No worries. We'll get it figured out.
Okay.
Might not be today. Maybe we'll have you come back, the next chance I got open, and we'll get it figured out.
Gosh, I'm so looking forward to it. I hate that I'm leaving you stuck.
Well, you're not leaving me stuck, because here I can read you the comments. Jenny says, Jenny Lou Russi from up in North Dakota says, we can hear both of you. I just can't show her. I'm playing. She'll see. So here's how it works for those of you that are tech savvy. Peggy has called me on Messenger, and I have her on my phone. And I am holding her video chat on my phone in front of my microphone. That's how we used to do it in the old days.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm 64, so that's kind of appropriate, huh?
Well, you're not that much older than me, so be quiet. Janet Tewksbury Berry says, invite her back. Well, of course I will, Janet. I know you're here to watch her. You're here to watch her. She's said it now. She said it twice because she wants me to make sure that I see it. Here's the thing. Technology can be a bear. I had Willie Farrell on yesterday, and he had a hard time too. And it's weird because sometimes it just works immediately, and sometimes it's a pain in the neck. And the hard part is you got a great signal, so your video would be awesome.
I know. Look at this effervescent face.
I
get
know.
my hair and everything.
I know. It's just unbelievable.
I know.
Well, I suppose we could do a little bit of a thing here for maybe, what do you want to do? Maybe 8-10 minutes like this? Nobody.
Oh, hell yeah.
No.
Oh, sorry, Mom.
Don't
Your
do
mom
it.
doesn't like swearing.
Yeah,
let's play a little bit. I'd love to be on your show when people can see me, but it doesn't mean we can't chat.
I understand. And so this will be interesting because I got to pay attention to the chat, and then I'll because Large Marge just says do an interview, it'll be great, and I agree.
Hey, Large.
All right, so let's start off. You already mentioned your age, which is good, so I don't have to because that would be rude.
Check this. Oh, I'll have to show the roots when I'm on. Boy, I tell you, it is gray. I got to color my hair.
Oh my gosh! So Peggy, when did you start doing comedy, and what kind of made you decide you wanted to give it a try?
Yeah, I've been watching your show and been having so much fun. Hearing about everybody's stories and whatnot. So, it's funny because the first big laugh I ever got performing was when I was in the 3rd grade.
Oh, wow.
And, I was always a class clown. I'm the youngest, right? So I was always trying to get attention. Mm-hmm. But we had this musical show, and it was the song, There Was a Little Man, and, he had a little house. And so I had my dad's overalls with the straps down and pinned because he was a large man. And I came out and I had a hammer and nails, and I was repairing the roof of the house. And I had pinned the pants to keep them tight, and the pin popped and my pants dropped.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was Catholic school, so I had my uniform on, but everybody just laughed so hard. And then I was hooked. So the next day, we had another performance. I put my outfit on, pinned it and everything. And when I went to reach up, I pooched my stomach out so the pin would pop and my pants would drop again. Because I was going for the laugh. So that was my first laugh, and then I was hooked. But my first comedy really interest was when I moved to Hawaii.
Oh yeah, and that's
I moved to Hawaii when I was about 24 to cook on a shrimp fishing boat.
Oh wow! Wow!
And I didn't know how to cook.
How big?
But it was really, really cold here.
Oh my gosh! So how big? I was going to say how big a boat is a shrimp fishing boat?
It was 175 foot by 100.
Oh wow!
So it was trap fishing for shrimp, and we were the processing boat, so we had capacity for 200,000 pounds of shrimp.
Oh my goodness.
So we had two boats that also would fish for shrimp, and then we did too. And I lied through my teeth to the skipper, and he gave me the job, and I was in Minnesota. And 3 days later, I'm in Hawaii cooking on a shrimp fishing boat for a crew of 18 and ordering supplies for 3 months out at sea, and I didn't know how to cook.
Hope you guys like cereal for breakfast.
Oh, man, I learned really fast. So I did that, believe it or not, for a couple of years. And then got on land and started doing comedy at the Honolulu Comedy Club.
Wow.
Yeah, well, they're open mics on Friday. And did that for a while, took classes. I took a class from John Sylvester Smith, who was Vice Principal Woodman on Welcome Back, Kotter.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so I took comedy lessons from him, got involved with the Honolulu Film Actors Workshop, and I've been in the performing arts for 40 years.
Oh, my goodness. All right, I'm going to pump this up from Jenny again. As another comic who happens to be in her 60s, I have been looking forward to this segment a lot.
Oh, thank you, Jenny.
Just so you know now, Peggy, I have manipulated the screen. So at least I have your photo up on the screen with me as we're talking, so people can see who it is that's talking. It doesn't look like I'm just playing the phone.
All right. Well, I thank you for doing what you're doing.
We're trying.
Yeah.
So you're at the Honolulu Comedy Club and progressing there. Where did you go from Honolulu? Where did you go after you performed there?
Well, I started working for a karaoke company.
Oh, yeah.
You call it karaoke.
Yes.
Yeah, the name is karaoke. It's Japanese.
I
started emceeing, and so I was performing in hotels around Waikiki and Honolulu. And I've got a nice voice. It's not so good that it intimidates people, but it's not so bad that it sends them running and screaming out the door. Right. So I actually had Don Ho perform with me once.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, nice guy.
Holy cow!
So I did comedy on Friday nights. I started to get into an improv troupe. I was doing the karaoke practically every night of the week, so getting some great stage time.
Well, and were you making a living with the karaoke?
Yes. Yeah. My girlfriend at the time was the manager, and she just set things up, and I just hopped and bopped on the on the stage. And then finally, because she was born and raised in Hawaii, she said, we're seeing people from all over the mainland having never seen karaoke. She goes, let's just get out of Dodge and go back to Minnesota, because she said, I'm tired of flying there to see your family all the time.
Yeah.
And our company was the first one in Minnesota to start karaoke.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, and I don't. Well, you've already told us your age. So, what year was this about that you started doing that over there, the karaoke?
Let's see, probably about 1989.
Okay, so that's very, very early compared to when it was back here in the Midwest.
Oh yeah. So we started it, and we knew we were going to create our own competition because it was popular right off. And so we got our wholesale license. So we sold equipment, sold the discs and everything else, and it just took off. We did it for 10 years. So we had 2 other systems going with other MCs that we gradually hired. So.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, great way to make a living. We made a great living. And then finally it was just cigarette smoke, and the bars were so awful, and it was just everywhere. We just went, time to move on.
Absolutely. So what would you say was your favorite song?
Oh God. I don't think there is one of those
for you
anymore.
for you to sing.
Well, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. Patsy Cline.
Absolutely, it's awesome. And you do have a great singing voice. My gosh, that's fantastic.
Well, it's so funny because I know you've asked people when was, and I'm jumping all around. I warned you about this.
Oh,
John.
yeah, it's no worries.
You were talking about, when was your last bomb or your worst bomb?
Yeah.
And relating to that, because it was singing, and it was at the Mall of America.
Oh, my.
I had come up with the song and felt really comfortable with it. And I got up and I just tanked. And I thank the people, the audience in between. Oh, thank you, because you know that this is open mic and we play and whatever. And like I said, I've been in the performing arts for 40 years, and finally my skin has gotten thicker. I just walked off and went, it is what it is. And then I went and performed it at the saloon and someplace else, and it went over great.
Yeah, that's crazy. Over anyway. That was a Patsy Cline callback. Did you see what I did there?
I saw that.
It's clever. I'm a pro. All right. So I'm going to stick on karaoke. I say it North Dakota style karaoke. I'm sorry. It's just how it's going to come out. What is the song that you got absolutely the sickest of doing karaoke?
I got the biggest what?
You got the sickest of.
Oh, the Rose.
That's a good one.
Oh my God! And the Lion Sleeps Tonight. If I hear away, if I hear that one more time, I'm gonna explode.
Do it again. Let me do the high part.
Okay, cool.
Oh God, we're awesome.
Oh boy, I got the movies going on that one.
Oh my gosh. It is so fun, folks. If you're just tuning in, we're having a little bit of a technical problem, but we're going to do the interview with Peggy and her pictures up here. You can look for her on Facebook. Do you have other social media people can find yet?
No, that's about it.
Just Facebook. That's all you need, really.
Yep.
It's oh my gosh. All right. So you come back here, you start doing karaoke. Are you doing comedy while you're doing the karaoke too? I mean,
nope, actually. So I put that on the back burner, but I took classes with Steve.
Oh yeah.
Ray. I've done him and Brave New Workshop and you name it, I've taken the class. And so then I get all gung-ho about the stand-up comedy, and then I'd go and try it out like at Acme one time, and then after you performed, we all sat around the table, and this one woman was criticizing me, going, "Oh, that's been on the streets forever," and I'm going, "No, I have documentation from 1974." And so again, I was thin-skinned back then. So then this is what I've heard a lot of people do, I just stepped aside for a couple of years, ventured back in again, got dashed at the joke joint. I just got slammed with my skydiving that I had. And after, it's so funny because I'm up there, I'm talking about my first solo skydive. And it's hilarious. And I'm cutting myself up and there's nothing. I'm getting nothing. And so finally I finish it and I'm going, what? And one of the guy he goes, "Well, it's a really interesting story, but you have to be funnier more often," which I have since learned, right?
Yeah.
And he said, "It's just a story. It's a great story, but it's just a story." And I said, "Well, Paula Poundstone tells stories," and he goes, "You're no Paula Poundstone." So then again, I got hurt again, took a little time off, and then 3 years ago, got the bug again.
Yeah. And of course, the way that you and I met was you came down to the open mic at Goonies, and I thought you were very, very funny.
Yeah, it was great fun. But this last year, things kind of fell apart. It was kind of hit and miss with the comedy, and because stuff gets in the way.
Yep.
And then everything just went to the wayside in March. So.
Yeah. So what do you recall the last show that you got to be part of?
The last one, I think it was probably the saloon. I had a really couple good last performances, and I was trying to sell my home. I was trying to move the apartment. My sister was ill, and 5 months it was just real chaos. So I think it was probably the Crane, and I think I did my song, and I think it went over really well.
Okay.
Many great venues. Oh my goodness, so much fun.
I'm going to catch up with a couple of comments here, Peggy. First one is from Large Marge. If at first you don't succeed skydiving, it's probably not for you.
Yeah. Well, I did get in 37 jumps, but I could never really master the landings.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh.
You know, I landed in cornfields and soybean. Cornfield took me 2 hours to get out of.
Oh, my God.
Everybody's flying over me, right, laughing. They wouldn't give me directions to get out of the darn thing.
Oh, my gosh. Here's one from my buddy Denny down in Iowa. He says his wife lived down the block from Patsy Cline when she lived in Oklahoma City, which is pretty interesting.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you've been performing in any number of fashions for many, many years. This doesn't just have to be a comedy hell gig. It can be, let's say you had a karaoke job that you were doing and it turned to crap. It's not necessarily a bombing story. It's about.
Oh, no.
You got a good hell gig for us?
I did a workshop with Louis Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy and I talked about this, and we think it was about 2011.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Wendy Mayberry, Julie Bain, Linda Ahrens. I think Jason was there, and David. We were all in this 4-day weekend thing with these amazing comics. And so they have gone on to be extraordinary comedians. Me, I got the acting bug.
Oh, wow.
I went into acting in just community theater, but I did that for 6 years. I did a lot of acting and directing.
Interesting. So what was your favorite role that you got to play?
Oh, Arsenic and Old Lace.
Oh, my goodness.
Aunt Abby.
Oh, my goodness.
I had more fun with that. So, did that for about 6-7 years with the acting, and then again, whoop, back to comedy. So it's kind of like with me, it's just following that next new shiny thing.
Yeah.
You can't ever have too much fun.
No, I'll tell you what, acting on the stage is pretty fun. I did dinner theater up in Fargo. Did a couple shows up there, and my gosh, if you have a good run and the audience loves it, it's crazy.
Oh, so much fun. Oh gosh.
I was going to say we had and Jenny says that's a great play, Arsenic and Old Lace. Absolutely, it is. Large Marge has another question, and it is: what, if anything, have you found to be a silver lining in all of this pandemic business?
Well, I have been fortunate enough to have spent the last 2 months at my best friend's cabin on the south shore of Lake Superior in Wisconsin.
Oh, wow.
So it's really easy to kind of forget that it's even going on. I mean, we're hiking every day, golfing pretty soon because it's still a little colder there. And she's got this beautiful cabin, and she plays the fiddle, I play the guitar, so we jam, and we love to read, and it's been pretty terrific.
Oh, my God. So you're up there right now?
No, actually, I came down yesterday because I was a little bit worried about the Wi-Fi up there.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And so, and of course, I'm down here, great Wi-Fi, but I'm just too inept to be able to get this baby done.
Well, we'll figure it out the next time.
Yeah.
All right. So, out of all your performances of all time, which was the one that made you feel the absolute best?
Oh, that would have to be at Acme for our performance from that workshop.
Okay.
Yeah, Louis was the MC. Nicest guy in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. At this workshop that we had, we went from like Scott Hansen was there to a couple other comedians, and there were 40 of us, I think, or 50. We broke up into groups.
Yeah.
And so I did this thing for Scott Hansen, and he just, this sucks. This just sucks. And of course, me, I'm just, oh my God, this is just horrible. And so we broke for lunch. And then it was time for me to go to Louis' group. So I went into the room, and nobody was there yet. And I sat in a chair, and he comes walking in and plops down next to me. He goes, "Hey, what's your name?" And I said, "Hey." He goes, "Oh, what do you do?" And I said, well, I was just over with Scott, and he just knocked my bit down. He goes, Scott, he's an asshole. I said, well, what did you talk about? And I said, well, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro twice. I skydive. I ride my motorcycle. He goes, geez, if I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, I'd be walking down the street going, hey, I climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. I mean, just the nicest guy.
Oh my God. I will tell you this. My first telephone call with Scott Hansen was when Wild Bill Bauer was still alive, and he said, "Hey John, call Scott Hansen. He may have an opening for you to do some time." And it was for, I can't remember who it was for, but I was already booked on something else. But I wanted to call him because I wanted to work for him at some point, right? So I called and I said, and he answered the phone, and I said, Scott, this is John Russell. Bill Bauer told me to call. He says, I don't know who the hell you are. And he said that you may have an opening to open for whoever it was. And I want to let you know, I would love to do it, but unfortunately I'm booked for something else. He says, see if I ever do you another goddamn favor. And I said, but Bill warned me, right? So I knew, and I just kept going on with the spiel, and I was nice as pie. And I said, I really hope you'll think of me, again, if you have another opportunity. He says, yeah, don't ever call me again. And then, like 3 weeks later, I worked for him. But that was the thing. I was warned. He can be kind of gruff. And
people, everybody's different.
Yeah.
And like I said, I've got a little harder shell now. So he's a very funny guy.
Absolutely. All right. Yeah. Jenny's got a question here. Let me pop it up so I can read it for you. She says, when she was in grad school for her MFA in acting, the faculty made her stop doing stand-up because they said it formed bad acting habits as an actor and a comic. Would you agree? No. I think you can differentiate between the two, and one can complement the other. I don't think so. I don't believe that. I would agree with you. I think it's one of those things. The more experience you have in everything, the better you are at everything. There's one school of thought that probably says, yeah, well, if you do a whole bunch of stuff, you're going to be half-assed at all of it. But the reality is that if you know what your path is going to be, that other things can add to what you do, like your improv training with Stevie Ray. Well, and
the biggest thing with acting is I was always the first one off book.
Okay.
That is the most important thing. So if you can be off book, you've got so much time to play and develop your character.
Absolutely.
I couldn't believe some of these actors that, still be walking around with a script. And as a director, I wouldn't allow that, but a lot of them did. But, it's just, you just got to be prepared. And that's with everything, I guess.
I think that's right. Right. So talking about directing, what are some of the shows that you got to direct?
Let's see. I did Moon Over Buffalo, The Odd Couple. Oh gosh, what were some of the others? Yeah, I can't bring them to mind, but there was about 5 or 6 that I directed. Yeah, I liked acting a lot more though.
The directing's a lot more involved, isn't it?
Yeah, but you can really bring your sense of comedy to it, and especially when the actors embrace it and they go, oh my God, that's such a great idea, and then see them develop and get better. And it was a great experience. I enjoyed all of it. I may go back to it too.
Absolutely.
But I told a friend of mine, I said, I just don't really think I'm that great an actress. And she said, Peg, you enjoy being you too much.
I'm just popping this up here now. Jenny Lee says she agrees with the off the book comment, and also says if she thinks if you're talented in either acting or comedy, you can do both. And I think that's true too.
Yeah. And as long as you're enjoying yourself, I've always enjoyed myself, and if I don't, then I move on to something else that stimulates me, and then that goes by the wayside, and that's why I've had 48 jobs.
There you go, 48. Wow, you counted?
I did. I'm not on a career path.
I didn't count. I got to 2, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out for me.
Yeah, it's just, why be unhappy?
That's right.
Yeah, and with that fishing boat at the age of 24, that was such hard work that I have, anytime I smell diesel, puts me right back on that boat again. And I'm going, oh my God, this is just a piece of cake. In fact, I was thinking of getting a vial of diesel just to carry with me. And if I think I'm working really hard at something, just whip that underneath my nose and just go, piece of cake.
Oh my God. Come work with me at the airport on the de-icing crew.
Oh, okay.
You'll feel like you're doing something all the time, even when you're not. Yeah. Dan, you didn't pop this up quick. Denny Ryan says, you got such a great laugh. And you do.
Oh, thank you, Denny.
And I think part of that is you're enjoying life all the time, aren't you?
I am. And what's not to enjoy? And, I'm just so fortunate. So many people are going through so much, especially people with children.
Right.
I don't have any children. My girlfriend and I, when we were in our 20s, we thought, hey, it'd be kind of fun to start a family. And I said, well, you get pregnant and we'll start a family. She goes, well, I'm not getting pregnant. And I said, well, I'm not getting pregnant. So we got a kid. We ended up with 13 cats because that maternal feeling just really was there.
Oh, my gosh. That's so funny. All right. So have you, during all this time, have you given any thought to doing any of the virtual open mics?
I have to get past a lot of family stuff that I have going right now because, I'm enjoying the heck out of this, but it's hard to be funny when there's some upheaval in your life.
Gotcha.
So my sister passed away on Mother's Day.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's that Catholic background of mine. She was very uncomfortable and in pain, and I know she's someplace better now.
Yeah.
So it still makes it a little difficult. So I'm the youngest, like I said, I'm the youngest of 6.
Oh, my gosh.
And I have a sister who's 12 years older than me, a brother 10 years, 7 years, and the twins 15 months older than me. Tell me I was a planned child.
Oh my gosh. Oh my God. You are my,
so one of the twins.
I was going to say, you are my sister in the family tree. I mean, I've got 4 sisters and 1 brother. So I'm the oldest in that. And
oh man, you are screwed. The oldest always is. My oldest sister, she was our second mom and, babysitter. And by the time I came along, to be honest, my parents were so weary. It was kind of like, yeah, let her go play out in the street. Nobody's gotten hit yet. Yeah. I was left to my own devices.
Yeah, I think my parents, like with me, I was the test. Everything was very, very strict. And by the time they got to my youngest sister, it was like, she'll figure it out. Like she'll figure out how to put her bottle in it. She'll figure out how to put her bottle in a microwave. It's not that tough. Oh my gosh. So let's see. So you've been spending time up there on the lake, which is awesome.
Beautiful. Just beautiful.
So when you're up there and you have to go out and get supplies, is it a lot different up there where it's more remote than it is down here in the city?
Well, we take all the precautions that we would do here up there, picking up the groceries.
Yep.
If they deliver, we have the cloth mask and now the plastic shields. And so if we have to go into some place, we've got this whole regalia on. And I don't have a problem. Anybody can do whatever they want to do, during this pandemic. I don't care what you do. I want to protect myself. I want to protect my best friend. And I don't want to pass any possible thing on. So it's however you want to deal with it. And I know it's hard for people. They want to go out and dine and they want to do this and that. It'd be interesting to see how this all pans out.
It's hard for a lot of people. And I agree with you on that sentiment. Do what you want to do. But and that's the other part is it's like, I don't want to tell people what to do, but I also don't want them to affect me or anybody that I love.
Yeah.
So, and unfortunately we can't, as much as I'd like to say we can all depend on everybody to, behave rationally. Some people don't. Some people are, I'm not wearing a mask. I don't need to wear a mask. Well, you know what? Screw you. So that becomes a little hard. I'm going to pop up another comment here quick from Denny. Denny says his sister and he were born in the same year, 1960. She was born in January. He was born in December.
Oh, very cool.
That's yeah, your mom and dad were practicing, weren't they?
So how are you handling the pandemic? Are you getting the supplies that you want and stuff?
You know what? Yes and no. I mean, I live pretty simply. You know, I have a son that works at Amazon, and he's in the distribution stuff. So he goes to all the Amazon locations in the Twin Cities. He's out of Eagan. He goes up to Oakdale, and then he goes over to Maple Grove, and that's what he does all day, is transfer misshipped items that went to the wrong distribution center. He is next to a Costco, I think, or a Sam's Club. And so he'll call me up and say, "Hey, Dad, do you need anything?" I'm like, I don't know. Give me some oatmeal. So the next thing I know, I got a box of 52 packages of oatmeal.
So you're set.
I'm like, I mean, typically I might go out, I might leave the house once or twice a week. I'm also fortunate. I got another son, and I got two little grandkids, and they only live a mile and a half from me.
Cool.
Yeah, and my son's working from home, and my daughter-in-law is a hairstylist, so I know they're not going out, and so I know I'm not going out, so I can go over there when I feel very comfortable that I'm not going to give them anything, or they're not going to give me anything. So
that's great.
So I try to go over there once a week, and I usually got to go out and get something, once a week. But otherwise, my other son just keeps supplying me with stuff, and then my mom will continually send me stuff. I don't know if you saw last week. She sent me a bunch of peanut butter and some vegan jerky.
Oh, I saw the vegan jerky.
Yeah,
thing.
And I'll tell you, I looked at it and I said, "Oh, Mom sent me some jerky," and then I looked at it and said, "Vegan? Is that possible?"
Yeah.
And I'll tell you,
good, wasn't it?
Oh my gosh! Well, I'll say this: she sent me a sample pack that had samples of 6 different flavors. Out of those 6, I would say 3 of them were, 2 of them were outstanding. One of them was okay. There were 2 more that were sort of passable, and the other one was really just terrible. So I would certainly buy the other 2. But the thing is that it really struck me was I was amazed at how they got the texture. It wasn't like it was meat, but it was so similar and it's seemingly sinewy that I was like, this, I could be fooled. If somebody gave me this and didn't tell me, I might think that this was regular jerky.
Yeah, they've come a long way. I was a vegetarian for 24 years.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of tofurkeys, which is really, really, really bad. Have you ever had tofurkey?
I have not.
Yeah, don't go there. It still hasn't improved. But being in Hawaii, it was easy to be a vegetarian.
Oh yeah. Beef
was expensive.
Well, not only that, that's one of the reasons Spam is so popular in Hawaii, right?
Love Spam. Spam sushi.
Oh.
Good stuff.
Spam sushi. How does that work?
Yeah. Oh, you just have you have your rice roll, and then you just have the Spam on top. That's very popular in Hawaii.
So it was. And what's the other thing? There's another weird thing that they like to do in Hawaii. It's like, is it boil Dr. Pepper or have Dr. Pepper hot or something? Some drink they like to.
Oh, not that I know of.
I'll have to look it up, because I remember seeing it somewhere and thinking that is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I was there for 10 years. You'd think I'd know that, but beautiful place. Have you ever been there?
I have not.
Oh, it's lovely. It's expensive.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah. So in case I don't see you at Christmas time, Meli Kaliki Maka Meka Hauli Maka Hiki Ho.
And a hiney ho to you too.
That's Merry Christmas and Happy New Year in Hawaii. It took me 2 years to learn it, so I use it all the time.
Man, it's a mouthful.
It is. It's a gift.
Yeah, it is.
Say, Peg, give it back.
It is. That's very kind. Oh my gosh. So let's see. What else do I want to know about you? So when all the pandemic ends and everything, do you plan on going out and hitting comedy hard again?
Oh gosh, yes. Well, actually, I had got my house the home, our childhood home in Lakeville.
Okay.
Got it and getting it ready for sale. And this is in March. And got an apartment up on 35th and Bryant.
Okay.
So I was closer to comedy.
Yeah.
And then everything just went.
Wow.
So, like I said, I've been at a friend's cabin for the last 2 months. Going to move out of I had to break my lease because I frankly can't afford it right now. So once all of this dies down, which I predict is going to be January 28th, 2021, and they'll have a vaccine. Mm-hmm. And I will get my apartment back and just hit the comedy hard because coming from Lakeville, I work in Minneapolis till 1 o'clock in the afternoon, start at 6, work till 1, go home to Lakeville, putz around a little bit, and then head back up to Minneapolis to do the comedy thing. And I'm just going, that has to stop. So anyway, so I'm going to be a big girl and live in Minneapolis.
Well, I'll tell you, I live in Lakeville too. And
you where?
Yeah, I live just to the west of Cedar, south of 160th.
Sure. Well, I live just 4 blocks north of Babes.
Oh, yeah, okay.
1 block east.
So you're a little bit further south from me.
Yeah.
I'm almost in Apple Valley.
Yeah, but I know exactly what you're talking about. So yeah, that the house my grandfather and father built.
Wow.
Yeah, and every time a new kid had come along, he just put in another dormer. He was a carpenter.
That's the way to do it.
You, I wasn't. The house was complete in 1956 on the year of my birth, and I was 2 weeks late.
Oh my gosh!
And I wanted to make sure that house was ready before I came out of the womb. I more so than that is my mother, after having twins, she was 6 months pregnant with me and still in denial and wearing a girdle. So she's just squeezing the heck out of me.
Oh my gosh.
Like I said, I was 2 weeks late. 9.3 pounds was my weight because payback's a bitch.
Oh my gosh. Well, Peggy, I'll tell you what, we're coming up to an hour here. And I wish we could have made this work out so you could be on video with me. We'll do it again when we can figure it out and we've got another spot for you.
That would be great.
Because I think we've had a good number of folks watching, actually listening, because I'm not doing much and nobody can see the penguins now. Did I tell you I have penguins in my background today?
Oh yeah, it was elephants the other day. That's pretty cool.
I am so much in love with putting up crazy backgrounds.
I think great.
Just because I'm afraid if I basically what I think is if I'm boring, then people will watch the background and stay.
Oh no, you're not boring.
You're very kind.
Such a great job. I have had so much fun listening to the other comedians. I caught Tiffany the other day.
Yeah.
Such a great, both her and Shannon Paul were so welcoming, and I could name all the Wendy Berkowitz, Wendy Mayberry, Karen Pickering, and all these, and the guys.
Yeah.
The support system is phenomenal.
It is. It absolutely is.
Not one comic that I don't like.
Well, you haven't met them all then.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I can give you a list. I'm not going to name names, but I could give you a list privately.
I find something good about every one of them.
I know. You know what? It's funny because what you say is true. I have met maybe 2 people that are like, you know what? You're kind of a crud. But it's like, it's not, and most of them are at a level where you can kind of understand that they're cruddy. You know what I mean? Like one of them, and I don't want to mention names because it would be unfair to Pauly Shore, but he out of anybody, he just like no. I mean, he was, but in hindsight, I can understand it, right? Because he's all about, he's his own producer. He's making stuff run. He's running his own tour, and so he's responsible for all the tickets and he's responsible for everything. He's not there to make friends. He's there to do his show. I get it, but he was still a dick. So. Well,
and his mother ran a comedy place in California forever, so he was born into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think you can become kind of jaded.
Mm-hmm.
If you've been in it that long.
I agree.
So,
I agree. All right. So here's another comment. Danny Ryan says this was a great show. I think it was. I think it was fantastic. I had a ball.
I warned you. I talk a lot.
Well, that's the good part of it because we're talking. You know, it's if I asked you to tap dance and you preferred to talk, then I would have been screwed.
Yeah. And you know what? Everybody missed about not seeing me. I have been hot flashing this whole time.
It's because you're excited.
Check out those rosy cheeks.
I know. I wish I could show a picture to everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, you're hot. You.
Rosy. I'm hot. All the guys say that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Peggy, I'm going to let you go. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. And I appreciate it very, very much. And we'll figure out a time to get you on where we can get the camera and everything figured out.
Oh God, that would be great. I'd really appreciate it.
Well, absolutely. All right. And
thank you everybody for listening. And keep listening and watching because the show is phenomenal. It's just great. It just makes my day.
You're very kind, and I appreciate it more than you know. All right, take care. We will talk with you soon, Peggy.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. All right, and for all of you who are still with me listening and watching, gosh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. That was a little bit more difficult than it was easier than I thought it was going to be honest with you. I don't want to interview anybody else by the phone like that, but that was good. I do want to encourage you folks, if you are looking in your streams, please, in your feeds, if somebody's doing an interview show, somebody's doing acoustic music, whatever it is, please, give it a like, give it a watch. If it's not your cup of tea, move on. If it is, let them know, because the creative folks need to know that they're connecting and that it's valuable. Tomorrow, I believe I'll have Logan Nielsen. I know I'll have Chris Schlichting with a lot of cool Schlick shopper product. You know what? I said that for the first time right there. Anyway, and then make plans next Thursday night. Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Well, anyway. I'll fill you in on next week as we go along. I just want to get done. Folks, take care of yourself. Say goodbye to the penguins. They all moved. Take care of yourself. I will see you tomorrow at 1:00. Bye-bye.